Howdy folks and welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another episode of Ars of Iron 4 with the Battle of the Silo Heights mod, which I like to call the Germany ENDSIEG 1945 mod. In the last episode I tried to have fun as Slovakia, Croatia and Puppet Italy, which again, in all three cases it ended up in a humiliating defeat. So in this episode, as you might have seen from the title, I am not going to play as Germany. I just want to give you some tips and tricks on how to organize your forces to ideally to defend the last remaining bits of the Reich. In the best case scenario, even to launch a counterattack to first push back the allies from the Ruhr region and then to let's say kick back the Red Army to where it came from. Um, Also, one small spoiler: I'm working on a historical order of battle for this mod because yes, I went through the order of battle of both the German of the Wehrmacht and the Red Army, and there are a few units missing from the Wehrmacht order of battle, but there are many more units missing from the Soviet order of battle. So if you find this mod difficult, which it is difficult, well, trust me, I'm gonna make it even more difficult to play as Germany. Yeah, just for the sake of being heavily historically accurate. Um, the strategy that I developed um, uh, deals is not like what some YouTubers have done, like to entrench yourself around Hamburg and then just leave one port here or here and then systematically destroy all of the allied units reinforcing this port. No, 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 no. The strategy that I have prepared for this kind of tutorial deals with holding all the lines, all the front lines that you have for as long as possible. And as you can see here, for the meme, I called this save Steiner will save us all. Small warning, there is a lot, and I mean a lot of micromanagement that you have to do. And I would highly recommend you folks play this on speed 1 because it's a nightmare. Also, to make the things more interesting, I'm playing on Iron Man mode, I'm playing on Elite mode, and oh damn it! Oh yeah, oh well, I thought I think I oh yeah, I think Germany load. Yeah, exactly. So, I also decided to buff the my major enemies as well as Japan, just to give Japan a chance to survive. And yeah, I think we can select the save. Yeah, maybe. Okay, yeah, that's it. That's it. So yeah, I buffed here, and yeah, so we can have a look at how the front lines look like in this. And yeah, the reason why I didn't record this is because it was such a tremendous amount of effort in organizing everything. So yeah, the final days of the Reich, and so it begins. And yeah, so here it begins. And as you can see, I have divided all of my troops into 5 theaters. The Oberkommando der Reserven is just consists of these Volkssturm divisions as well as the 2 fortress divisions here in the Mediterranean. I originally kept these guys here. In practice, you can also disband them, and I will do it when it's. I mean, before starting the game, because it's yeah, they're just useless. They are gonna suck up your manpower and supplies and equipment, and these 2 divisions here are just basically lost. So you can easily disband them. Regarding the Western Front, the OB West, I gave it the highest priority in terms of supplies because I want every rifle, every tank, every mechanized equipment and everything, every gun, every artillery to go on the Western Front because yeah, the Allies have trapped the what I called the 5th Panzer Army in the Ruhr, and that's not good because I want these guys to hold as long as possible and then try to rescue them with a last-minute desperate offensive. The Oberkommando der West is under command of Army Group B, led by Walter Model, because he has decent attack and defense skills. Then I have the 15th Army under Traugott Herr, because again this guy is quite skilled in defense, both defense and attack. The 7th Army, just for the role playing, I gave it to Erich Brandenberger, who again is a very decent defensive skill leader. Kurt von Tippelskirch is leading the 1st Army. Then I have the 5th Panzer Army led by Busse. I've picked Busse because of the high defense and relatively high attack skill, but also because he has the urban assault specialist. And this is important because in Dortmund and here you have 2 urban type provinces, which is going to be incredibly useful to hold this pocket of what I called the 5th Panzer Army. And then last but not least, I also, oh yeah, I forgot about these guys. Yeah, now they're fine. The Atlantic Festungen, so the Atlantic fortresses, which are these 4. I mean, also this one here in Dunkirk, but yeah, who cares about the name here? Again, I gave Weidling because in Nantes there is this urban type province, and I've seen people just disbanding these units. I personally don't want to do it, and I won't recommend it, because the goal of these units is to soak up as many allied troops as possible, to divert them ideally from the Italian front, because here there are mostly the French. What I've seen in the past is that the French AI would start relocating troops away from the Alpine front to these Atlantic fortresses. And also, building wise, I'm building, as you can see, individual ports. Here I forgot about building a port in Ben's place, and yeah, that's it. And also building refineries. Why I cannot? Okay, that's it. And yeah, building refineries in Germany. And this is the Oberkommando der West, the Army Group West. And yeah, so I've assigned a single field marshal order, because from what I've seen, if you put all of the armies into one single field marshal order, those troops will not start shuffling around like crazy, like when it happens when you don't put everything under one field marshal order. And the way to do it is just to, as you can see here, you just have to shift click on one of the borders, and in this way you will just see the field marshal order, and nothing too bad will happen on the reshuffling front. Then we have the what I call the Oberkommando Italian, which consists, of course, is led by Albert Kesselring, because I mean, just for the role playing, you can pick whatever guys you want. But again, Kesselring has a pretty decent defensive planning, attacking, and supply skills. So it's a pretty decent commander for the Italian front. And here I have requested all of my units puppet, and I divided them into the 10th Army, led by Lucht. Yeah, just because it's a shitty theater. I really don't care about Italy in this case. And his task would be to delay the Allied army along the Italian front. And I've also assigned these 3 divisions which are at full strength, while the 14th Army is holding the French along the Alps. And I highly recommend you micromanage this, because at some point the French will leave these hexes empty, and you can maybe advance along the this river here, at least in these provinces here. You may even trap some units between Genève and Annecy. But again, everything depends on what the AI is doing. The army of Norway consists of both the divisions here in Denmark, as well as the garrisons here, as well as these guys here. in northern Norway. Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot to rename it the Heeresgruppe. Let's call it just short. EG Norway. Again, low priority, like all of the others. And in Norway, you do have these divisions here. No, so now, yeah. So, from what I've seen, the Soviet AI rarely attacks Norway because, as you can see, the Soviets are in, yeah, they're having some supply issues, and therefore, you can bring some of these infantry divisions from Norway to Germany. You could also disband these garrison units because I've never seen the Allies landing in Norway nor in Denmark. Again, one tip that I'm not gonna do, but you can do, is to move these three divisions here on the Western Front and disband or use the 223rd Panzer Division on the Western Front. It's really up to you. For the sake of the challenge, I'm not gonna disband these. I will keep them here. Maybe I will move them back to Germany when it's due time, but at the moment I'm leaving them here. And now coming to the most interesting front of all, the Eastern Front. I have here the OKH, the Oberkommando des Heeres, and the best of the best is given to Field Marshal Schörner because he has a 5 defensive skill. And oh boy, you want to be dug in as much as you can on the Eastern Front to deter the Red Army attacks. Schörner has basically control of the 4th Army, led by, well, a meme general, Hermann Fegelein. Then we have the 9th, yeah, the 4th Army is here. Then we have the 9th Army, led by Walter Benck, because again, he's a decent commander in terms of attack and defense. Then, well, I have Steiner, who is holding the defense of Berlin. With the 11th SS Panzer Army. I don't even know if this army really existed or it was something else, but yeah. I just went by heart when naming those armies. Then I have the 17th Army led by Hermann Balk, who again has a pretty decent defense and attack. And then I have Guderian leading the 6th Army because again of his defensive skills. So as you can see, I'm focusing a lot on the defense. Then I have the Army Group F, which consists, which instead of having the typical field marshal front line here, stretching here like, yeah, like the Army Group A, I gave it the order of falling back to this front line. Army Group F does have the what I call the Croatian Army, which as you can see consists of all the Croatian divisions, as well as the 11th Army with all of the, let's say, leftovers of the German divisions. Army Group F will be tasked of holding this line, first of all pulling back and then holding this line here, which is, you know, you may think, okay, cool, so you're gonna liberate more forces. True, but according to the ABC of strategy games, if you pull back from this area, the Red Army will also be free to move all of these troops along other fronts. And which other fronts I'm talking about? Well, of course I'm talking about the, let's say, Polish front, the Oder front, the Hungarian front. So that's why you really have to play on speed 1, because you really want to micromanage the retreat of your armies and maybe even extend Army Group F into Vienna and up to Bratislava to again shorten the front line of Schörner's troops and try to hold and prevent the Red Army from smashing through your lines. Last but not least, I have Army Group North. Army Group North consists of the 16th Army, which is the one trapped here north of Königsberg, and the 18th Army. Now, you want to have what I call the active defense. Active defense means you want to exploit the stupidity of the AI. I mention this because in several playthroughs, I've seen the AI doing two things. First of all, leaving Jelgava completely open, leaving this province completely open, and pulling out of this province as much as from 6 to 9 divisions. So what I tried once and what worked once was to pull the 12th and the 14th Panzer Division in Liepaja, launch I would say an attack against this province here, and then reach Memel. Because if you manage to reach Memel, you will open a safety corridor for the 16th Army, which is trapped in here. And you may want to either build a dockyard here or save your boys. Also in the, let's say, improved ENDSIEG mod, I'm also thinking of adding here exactly, adding a level 1 dockyard if you manage to hold this province for 28 days. Just a kind of reward, because it's not going to be easy, but you know, I think the player should be rewarded with something crucial, like a level 1 dockyard, if you manage to hold this province for, yeah, 28 days. And yeah, so basically that's... Oh yeah, that's not all, because you want to micromanage also your defense, and regardless of what I've picked here for the navies, I've picked for the Air Force the Air Crew Service and the centralized control. While for the Army, I've selected here the Tenacious Defense because I don't know if you know it, but in Hoi 4, defense also favors breakthrough, which is the damage that you take when attacking. So the higher your defense is, the higher your breakthrough is, because the higher is the defense that you take when attacking. I know it's kind of weird, but this is how it works. Tenacious Defense, elevated engineering core, mostly because of this 10% entrenchment speed, and then of course static warfare, because it gives you max 10% of entrenchment, 10% of max entrenchment, as well as plus 10% of entrenchment speed, so you have 20% of entrenchment speed, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, exactly, you have here plus 20%. And also, as a preferred tactic, I've picked elastic defense, because this is the... If you look at the defensive ones, this is the one with the highest, let's say, bonuses to the defender and the highest maluses to the attacker. And ideally, the best case would be the backhand blow, but you don't have the technology to use it, so you have to pick elastic defense. And decision-wise, you want to... So I'm playing with all the negative modifiers, and you want to pick women in the workforce, because this will balance the minus 3% of recruitable population of the total mobilization. And I like to go with... damn, I don't have enough political power, but I would go to service by requirement, just to increase a little bit the factory output. As well as focus, no, there is just one focus, which is the construction engineering. You can switch between construction engineering and construction repair. I like to go with engineering, just to make sure that hopefully my dockyards and refineries will be built relatively fast. And yeah, that's it. Besides, really, guys, inviting you to play on speed number 1, the amount of micromanage that you have to do is absolutely insane. So yeah, I really wish you all the best. And yeah, maybe in the next episode, I'm gonna show you guys that my strategy hopefully will work. So, yeah, thank you very much for watching, folks. Thank you very much for supporting the channel. I wish you all the best. And well, stay tuned until the next episode.